All right, on to our chapter updates. So our slides tonight are going to focus a little bit around our end of year report that we do for Wild Ones National. It's not until we sat down in December and January and kind of had to rehash everything we've done the past year in our end of year report that we thought maybe we should share some of this information with you that Wild Ones asks of us. So one of the things they're curious about is what sort of collaborations and partnerships are we doing with our community and how we plan to grow in 2025. And this year we have a lot of exciting things happening. We're partnering with the College of Southern Maryland, doing workshops on seed cleaning and winter sowing. They're opening a seed library in March that we'll be supporting. And their big event this year will be Nature Fest on May 31st. So we'll be there for that. We're also going to participate in the Wild Ones Building Habitat for Native Bees program, where we'll be providing presentations and workshops for building habitat for native bees and putting actual bee houses out in public gardens in our areas. And then we're partnering with the Friends of St. Clements Bay at the front yard at St. Mary's Library on their workshops this year. We also do a lot of tabling out in the community. These are 2 seed swaps that we participated in this past year. We did the Maryland Area Gardening for the Environmentally Conscious seed giveaway at Odenton in December. And just this past Saturday, we did the Seed Swap Festival at the Mount Rainier Nature Center. So there's a lot of interested native seeds and propagating plants out there that we're trying to support. We've also done presentations at several locations. We've done native seed cleaning with the students at the Forest Tech and Career Center. We did our Deeply Rooted in Winter Sowing presentation with them in January. Those are all the jugs that we sowed with them. And then we also did an All the Dirt on Winter Sowing native plant workshop at the Leonardtown Library. And Sue, I'll let you talk about your education.
Marlene Smith had secured for us the display case at the Twin Beaches Library in North Beach for February and March. And Robin Maydell and I put this together, and then Lisa Garrett also brought over a whole ton. A lot of the stuffed animals and things you see in there came from Lisa. And we spent Saturday morning putting all sorts of stuff in this display case. If you get a chance, go see it. It's got information about Wild Ones, has information, obviously books since it's a library. The bottom part of the display case has open shelving, so it has brochures and bookmarks and things that people can actually walk away with, as well as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, the QR code so people can get more information if they want it. It was quite a fun thing to do. That's it, Marlene.
All right, thanks, Sue. And thank you, Robin. And I don't know if Lisa's on, but thank you all for your efforts on this. And then if anyone who was at our Seed and Swag social would like to tell the rest of the group what we did in December at that event, feel free to unmute yourself. Miranda or Molly, Robin, Jesselyn.
Yeah, sure.
I see you. I feel like romper room.
I can do it unless someone else wants to talk.
Go for it, Robin.
So we got together with desserts and seeds, and Miranda and maybe Marlene both brought a bunch of seed stuff that needed to be cleaned down to mostly seeds. So we had some dessert, and then we sat down and had at all of the seed cleaning, and it was I don't know, a couple hours of just working through all of that material and learning how to clean all these different kind of seeds and learning what really cool tools Marlene and Miranda use for sifting seeds out of all the rest of the stuff. And I don't, it was really kind of zen-like. It was just a chance to sit and focus on something right in front of us and eat some sugar and
Yes, I highly recommend.
And Marlene
Yeah.
brought the stuff also so that you'll see in people holding up T-shirts and the
Yeah.
tote bags.
Yep.
We were also able to make some swag with Wild Ones Chesapeake Bay vinyl. I don't know what you call them, Marlene. Vinyl patches,
Transfers. Vinyl transfers.
So great fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it.
It was lovely. Yes, we got to clean some seeds and talk, and I think that's a wonderful thing to do. And everyone, if you collect your own seeds, you can experience the same joy and repetition and accomplishment.
And I was surprised to learn how things like fine mesh colanders from the kitchen are really handy for cleaning seeds. All kinds of stuff from.
Reminds me, we still have the mortar and pestle for you too. Been sitting here to get to Marlene because we found that some things need to be ground a little bit before
Yeah.
they
Uh,
come through.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
so if you're,
go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
So that was another time where it's handy to be able to go to some place like Prairie Moon to look up what the seed should look like, because there were a couple times where we were like, wait, is this seed? Nope, that's not the seed. The seed is further down and it's smaller. So that was interesting. It was a learning experience for a couple of us to figure out exactly what we were after.
I know I only got to come into the back end of this event, which I thought was awesome. Being able to come back, with having a little bit of swag and some, seeds that I didn't have in my collection yet, but also like having the camaraderie and being able to share garden experiences and seed experiences. I know Bonnie had even brought some sesame seeds with her, and that was pretty interesting as well. Being even if they weren't native, it was just a cool thing to kind of see and understand how something can grow in such a way and kind of understand what different families the seeds would be part of and how they kind of resembled each other. But getting to share a lot of the experiences between garden communities was really nice as well.
And if this is something that interests other people who are in the meeting tonight, we're going to have a seed cleaning workshop at the College of Southern Maryland on Valentine's Day. And I'll have some information on that a little bit further down the slides.
So be with your seed heart.
Oh, Bill says, be with your seed heart.
That
Another
is
thing that
adorable.
yeah, he is. Isn't he adorable?
Go, Bill.
Another thing Wild Ones National asks of us is to help them recognize our members in the chapter who are out there being recognized for the activities that they do in the community. So if you or any of the other members you're aware of get recognized in the media for anything they're out there doing, let us know because we can post it on our website. We're going to try to keep a blog now moving forward with all of our media coverage. And then also, once we're aware, we'll share it with Wild Ones National and also share it on our social media. So we want to recognize all the great work that you're out there doing. One of the highlights this year was the work done by Esther Bonney. She actually gave a TEDx talk in Hagerstown, which was a pretty exciting event for us and an exciting event for her. And I was hoping she'd be on tonight, but I don't think she is. And then another thing they ask us about is our lobbying and advocacy efforts. And Molly Pincus, if you're on, do you want to tell us a little bit about the Charles County Climate Action Plan? I think we first heard about this through you and Maddie during the last meeting.
Sure, yeah. So Charles County is working on establishing a climate action plan, and they're currently in the process of trying to gather public feedback and sort of get a sense of what the priorities are within the community regarding climate change. So if you're interested, you can go to the Charles County Civic Engagement webpage, and they have a few surveys on there that you can complete. They just take a few minutes. And then you can also register for upcoming webinars and information sessions. So if you want to join those, you can sign up for those as well. They just had the second one a few weeks ago, and it was actually really interesting because they did some breakout rooms, and there were a lot of good discussions going on about what the concerns are with climate in Charles County. So yeah, that's my spiel. I can also put the links in the chat to take you to that civic engagement page as well. So back to you, Marlene.
Thank you. That'd be great, Molly. I appreciate the update. And also the QR codes here will take you to the different information that's on the slide. So that QR code, I believe, takes you to the climate action page for Charles County. The link would also be appreciated. And then the second thing on the slide is the endangered and threatened species list. The monarch has been proposed to be listed as endangered and threatened. The comment period with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is open until, is open until March 12th. So if you have anything that you'd like to say in that matter or want to read the comments that have already been submitted, feel free to go to that website by scanning the QR code. And then Sue will talk a little bit about iNaturalist.
Yeah, I just had to make sure I was unmuted. Last fall, I started a iNaturalist community science group on iNaturalist with Southern Maryland native plant people. We're hoping to expand that to include wild ones. We're looking primarily at native plants, but we also want listed the non-natives so that we have a more accurate data on what is out there. The QR codes on this slide will take you to a recording that I saw recently on phenology. Phenology is the study of the seasonal changes within nature. In our case, we're looking primarily at plants. And there are two very large phenology studies that are being done that iNaturalist is collecting data, or the data from iNaturalist is being used in these studies. One of my lists of jobs this week is to get to the community of iNaturalists from Southern Maryland native plant people and give them some information on that and how you can help by not only taking pictures and making observations of, for instance, my Joe Pye weed outside, but taking it over a season. So taking it when it first comes up, because that date is then logged into iNaturalist. When it first shows buds, when it starts to flower, when those flowers have gone to seed. That is all data that is needed for these phenology things. So keep an eye out for that. If you are an iNaturalist person, look for Southern Maryland Native Plant People Project. You don't have to be part of Southern Maryland Native Plant People to join. You just have to ask to join, and I will let you in because I'm on iNat daily. And like I said, we're planning on expanding that this spring to be a Wild Ones co-host, partner on that particular project.
So is what you described about all the adding in information about all the different stages or adding photos. Is that what you mean by adding annotations? Like take a
That is,
photo of when the plant first
yes,
emerges and when it first
yes,
seeds and
right. There's a whole lot more to iNaturalist than simply doing IDs. And you have to go over to the one side and go over to annotations, and it'll say, is the plant in flower? Are there buds? Are there fruits? Are there seeds? Are there whatever? And you could actually go back. I started on a when we were all snowed in and it was 15 degrees. I went back through my iNat things from several years to add in those annotations. So it's not something you have to do at the moment. You can go back and do it later. Okay, that's it. Stay
All right,
tuned for
thanks,
more
Sue.
on that.
All right, we also report to Wild Ones National at the end of the year about our native plants and seed activities. And we were proud to report the partnering we did with Repollinate Anne Arundel for plant distribution at the USGS lab. And also that we're supporting the seed libraries at the St. Mary's Public Libraries and at the College of Southern Maryland. So we're providing a lot of plant material and seeds to the community, get more native plants out there. And then on this slide, we want to ask the members who are in attendance tonight, and you can either put it in the chat or you can talk through it, or you can even email us. But Wild Ones promotes native landscapes through 3 strategic pillars, through education, advocacy, and collaborative action. And we'd like to know, what would you like to see from our chapter in 2025? So if there's anything specifically of interest to you, we'd like to hear from you so we can make this your chapter, what it is that you're interested in. And if you're too shy to mention it or to type it in the chat, by all means, please send us an email. And we'd also like to know what tools and resources would help you further your native plant journey. And if you know of any other local organizations that you can think of that we could enhance our collaborative efforts with for native landscaping initiatives. So again, anything focusing on collaboration, advocacy, or education. Anyone have anything they'd like to contribute to that before we move on?
I have a suggestion for a workshop that might be helpful for a lot of people. It's something similar to what Benjamin Vogt is about to do, a design workshop, but something where we can go somewhere in person and bring graph paper or supply graph paper or whatever, and ask people to come with measurements of where they want to plant or their yard or whatever, and go through some design, like have somebody sit down with us and work on a design of a bed. Because I think that's where a lot of people get lost and either just end up planting randomly, or they just don't plant. They're not sure what to do, or I mean, that's where I get tripped up, is I'm not sure beyond a small bed what to do next in my yard full of non-native weeds. Anyway,
That's a good thought. Yeah. And I don't know if we have any people with that skill set or expertise in the chapter, but we are also collaborating more with other chapters, both the
yeah.
Wild Ones Greater Baltimore and the Wild Ones Nation's Capital. So if we don't have anybody with that skill set in the chapter, we can always reach out to them and see if they want to do something collaboratively with us.
Yeah, maybe
I
Jimmy.
like that idea.
I'd be happy to put something together for that.
Is that Jesselyn?
Yeah, I'd
There
be
you
more
go,
than happy to do something like that with people. Yeah, to do like a simple bed layout with, if anybody would like to know about like there's certain plants or, certain areas where they have, like, if they're having trouble with marshy areas, or what kind of situations they are, to have like just an open conversation and insight on how to do things and maybe how to simplistically go about it, and kind of take the stress away from it and just make it seem a little bit easier. It's easier than you think.
That'd be really helpful. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
we can all come with an area in mind and know the conditions ahead of time. Know the approximate size and conditions ahead of time.
Yeah, definitely. And I know of a great woman as well to look into her kind of what is it? You'd say resources is, I know Chris Pax has been to the library a couple times. She's got great design. She's also done the design for the Leonardtown Library. She has a couple of classes as well, if that's something that you're looking to, I mean, I think you'd have to pay for them if that's something you want to look for, as in like right now, but I'd be happy to do a future, like near, kind of like a little design situation. That'd be cool.
Thank
I
you. That'd
love
be
it.
great.
Yeah.
In the
Robin,
in the
thank
chat,
you for asking.
Michelle,
Jocelyn, thank you for offering.
Of course. I don't want to gatekeep any of this knowledge. It's for everybody.
Yep.
Um,
Anyone
in
else
the
have any
chat,
suggestions?
yeah, Michelle mentioned visiting member gardens demonstrations and
Yes.
continuing the education thing. One I have to mention, because I will probably be more involved with it, is on May 10th, Saturday. The Captain Avery Museum is part of a house and garden tour here in southern Anne Arundel County. Captain Avery has extensive native gardens that on May 10th will be absolutely stunning. So if you want to put that aside, I will post the information. You do need tickets for it. I will try and post that information somewhere. But I have to look it up. I don't remember. I already got my tickets, and I have been working with, in a minor role with Captain Avery on getting those plants labeled. But there are not all native, but I'd say they're at 80% native plants at this point in time. So May 10th, keep it on your calendar. It's going to be a great tour. There are the ticket will get you into other garden tours as well, not all of them native. But if you're into that kind of thing, that would be a good idea.
Sue, someone asked in the chat, where is Captain Avery Museum?
Shady Side, southern Anne
Shady
Arundel
Side.
County.
Thank you.
Marlene, we got asked to participate, to do some tabling at an event. Do you want to talk about that now, or do you want to wait until?
I'd like to wait.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so coming up in February, we have quite a few events going on. There's still time to register for the Maryland Native Plant Society field trip on Winter Tree ID. That's happening at Kings Landing Park in Huntingtown. I previously mentioned that there's going to be a seed saving workshop at the College of Southern Maryland on February 14th. Members are welcome to attend. And one of the exciting ones happening on February 15th is Bonaterra is actually going to hold a satellite seedling giveaway workshop where they plan to train more community members on hosting the seedling giveaways. And Esther Bonnie and I will be there to help facilitate that workshop, since we've been doing a lot of Bonaterra seedling giveaways. We're going to do all the dirt on winter sowing on February 22nd at the Lexington Park Library. And that is not only going to be winter sowing of native plants, but it's also going to include vegetables and herbs and annuals, because we're going to focus too on companion planting in the garden and how native plants contribute to better crop yield in gardens. And then on February 27th, we're going to co-sponsor a presentation by Zoom on community gardens by Jimmy Rogers of the Wild Ones Greater Baltimore chapter. And this just goes over what's coming up in February, but if you scan the QR code on this slide or just go to our chapter website and pull up our calendar, our calendar should have most of our events that are coming up through April, I believe. But keep in mind, some of them are still in the planning stages. They may still be tentative or not have all the details there. We're trying to get all the dates out there so folks can start planning. And then a few national updates. For anybody who's artistic, Wild Ones is proud to be a native plant art exhibit partner for the Native Plant Art Contest. It's an initiative that celebrates the beauty and importance of native plants through artistic expression. Again, you can find information out on the Wild Ones website by scanning the QR code. And there's an upcoming free webinar by Wild Ones National, Bees Beyond Honey, Understanding the Roles of Native and Managed Bees in Pollination. And one of the speakers on that will be Sam Droege of the USGS Bee Lab in Laurel. So it'll be exciting to hear Sam talk. And then, as always, there's a new Wild Ones quarterly journal out. If you haven't read that, that's available to members online. And one of their featured books on the book list this season is The Serviceberry by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And with that, that's all we had to present. Again, if you would like to give feedback on tonight's meeting or presentation, please scan the QR code. Next time I'll remember to have the link available to put in the chat. I didn't think to do that tonight. But I'm learning with every meeting we have what sorts of things are helpful to provide. And with that, if anybody has anything they'd like to discuss, I'll hang around as long as anybody wants.
If we don't get to your questions or can't get your answers, we'll try to get back to you at some point in time.
So I see Jan Goldstein mentioned a field trip to Glenstone. I'm not familiar with where Glenstone is. Jan, where's that? Are you still on?
It's in Potomac, so it's a bit of a haul, but it's acres and acres and acres and acres of native plants and an art museum. The horticulturist there could be available, I think, to talk to the group. The National Capital chapter actually meets there once a month, so maybe a collaboration. But it's really it's just unbelievable. I don't know how else to describe it.
So yeah, we tabled with Wild Ones Nation's Capital at the seed swap on Saturday.
I heard.
And
yay.
Yeah, that was a great event. It was nice to meet some of their members, and I expect we may be doing more things with them. So yeah, maybe I'll reach out to Marnie. I can't remember if I think she told me she was going to let me know when the garden tours start up. She kind of mentioned that they have their members' gardens open to field trips, and that different members have gardens that are at their peak at different times throughout the growing season. So it sounds like they kind of have an established rotation of some of their gardens, and that would be nice to see some of their personal gardens, plus perhaps go to some of the public gardens, like you mentioned.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Jan.
I haven't been to Glenstone, but I've heard a lot about it, and it sounds like it could be an all-day affair. It's
Yeah.
huge grounds and sculptures, and it was an invitation-only space when it was first established, and now it's open to the public, but I think they limit the number of people who can come in, and it's just lots of contemplation, lots of like you could probably spend all day there.
You certainly could, but if you're they do like hour-long native plant tours and
Oh, great.
hour-long sculpture tours. So, but Marnie can probably tell you how to get on there, get permission for a certain number of people to, come together. But
Mhm.
it's a haul for sure, but really well worth it.
Yeah, and I think things like that where we can just, be together and develop some camaraderie. It's
Yeah.
very helpful.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know if you can hear me, but
Yep.
Lynn, you and I know each other from Nanjamoy Creek. So
Hello, Laura. I was glad
Hi,
to see you
Lynn.
there. Hi.
One thing I just want to throw out there and is that Nanjamoy Creek Environmental Education Center is always looking for people who are interested in native plants and planting and helping us out. We have a huge amount of native plants out there, and like this past season, I collected a ton of New York ironweed seeds and snake root and some other things. But we just don't have the time because we're teaching to maintain our gardens, and we have one that just completely collapsed this last year. So if anybody out there is interested, by all means, come and see us. We're actually doing controlled fires out there right now. So that's kind of an interesting thing for people who, want to get some exposure to that too.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to you about that. I would
We've
love
had,
to get it. Yeah.
yeah, they've come out once, twice and burnt for us, but this season
who
we've
did
had a
it?
problem getting a good window.
Yeah. Who did it for you?
The fire people, the state fire people came out.
Hmm.
Oh, and I
Okay.
appreciate whoever put our website up there. But my name's Laura Taylor, so you can call if you're interested or contact via email.
Mhm. I got you. Cool.
Yeah, right now Molly Moore's coming down with her husband and doing one of our gardens. And Kathy, whose last name is escaping me, I saw you had her on one of your videos.
Jenkins, probably Kathy Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins. She's out there working on a food forest that we're doing out there. So we do have a bunch of people who've been coming out and helping out.
Yeah, it's always tough to get help.
Yes, and especially being out in Nanjamoy, which is in the middle of nowhere.
I was thinking of that. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's rough.
But it is a good opportunity also if you want to collect seeds. We wouldn't have any problem with people coming down and doing that.
Cool beans. All right.
And I did put the link to the survey for tonight's meeting in the chat. Anybody wants to grab that before we get off?
Marlene, when we were at the library on Saturday, the organizer of the Osprey Festival, Bill, whose last name escapes me, one of the organizers came in and met with Lisa, and he said that they would like Wild Ones to consider tabling at the event. And I mentioned that we also have in our midst Xerxes as well as Nurture Natives. And he said, well, if you're interested in any kind of plant giveaway, we'd love to have that. And I think he said it's, what is it, April 8th, Sue? Is that right? Anyway, they're going to do it in North Beach this year, and they expect to have about 1,200 people. They're going to do events at the library, but then they're going to do tabling along Bay Avenue. So there's lots of space, and so they want to spread it out and give people a lot of space to walk through. And then they're going to have some paid events happening out on the pier. Like, I think they're going to have raptor exhibits and stuff like that. It's all a fundraiser but he said they're going to have an area of education that would all be free for everybody to attend. But I think it would be pretty well attended, so I think it would be a good event for us to get involved in. And I'm definitely available for it. And I'm hoping that maybe you could do Xerxes and maybe Esther could be there for Nurture Natives. And
What did you say the date was, Robin?
I want to say it's April 8th. Does that sound right, Sue? Hang on, let me grab the brochure out of my bag.
Okay, thanks.
But I think we gave him the contact info for you.
Okay,
But so he may be, oh, here it is. He may be contacting you. So it's Saturday, April 5th, excuse me,
April
from
5th.
10 to 4. So it'll be a long day, but it should be nice. And, just be aware part of it is an admission. But I think they're generally pretty well attended. They're typically down in Solomon's, but they wanted to move up here because they have issues with parking down there, and probably just want to spread it around a little bit and get more North County involvement. So but he'd be a good person for you to talk with ahead of time to see if we have any common interests that we could take advantage of. So his name is, oh, you know what, that's probably on this. Let me see if his name is on here. It's MarylandOspreyFestival.org if anybody wants to check it out.
Okay.
And on Bill, where's your name? Oh, his name isn't on here. Anyway, it's a big deal. Ospreys are a big deal for us over here. So, anyway, I'd love to do it. So maybe we can talk about it.
Yeah, and I believe that Perrin Callery, who did the clay sculptures for the Native Garden in Leonardtown, and who also did the sculptures around the Prince Frederick Library, is doing clay sculptures to go around the
Twin
North
Beaches.
Beach Library, and I believe it might be focused on osprey.
Oh, cool.
I think I heard that. I don't know when that project is coming to fruition and when those will be installed, but I do know that's something she's working on.
Mm-hmm. I think I heard that. I remember Lisa talking about that. I don't remember when it is either, but that'll be really cool.
Yeah, cool. And I just put the link to the Maryland Osprey Festival in the chat if anyone's interested.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Well, thank you everyone for attending this evening. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and then the chapter updates and the opportunity to chat with your fellow chapter members. And that's all that I have unless someone has something else.